I think it's time. It's actually 1:30. Uh, it's one. Sorry, it's 11:30 p.m. in Dallas, and I think this is 6:30, 6:31 p.m. West African time. So it's been such a pleasure to have all of you here, and I can see Emmanuel, I can see Chidi, Ekene, and Precious and Taiwo. I see all of you. Please share this link with others. I know this is going to be recorded. The 11:30. It's almost like lunchtime. People are going out to have lunch. Yeah, this is an opportunity where I can actually want to see your videos as well. So if you can put on your videos, that would be cool. Um, So this is like lunchtime, when going out in most parts of the US. In the UK, this is evening as well. In Nigeria, this is evening. So I understand if people are actually coming back from work by this time, so they kind of would listen in, or they'll prefer to watch the recording on YouTube or online after the section. So we are trying to give our best, share as much information as we can. The things that have been really helpful to us while we started our journey into tech, because you never know. I did mention some time ago that I am forever grateful to one of the teachers that helped to push the frontiers of my knowledge in secondary school back then in Calabar. This was many years back. Anyway, I'm not an ancestor, so I could put a number to it. This was like I think about 20 years ago in secondary school, towards when I was leaving. So I had this incredible teacher who called me. I was a sanitary prefect then. He called me and he told me that, look, there are some people that are going to be teaching that are new to Cross River State, and they have actually building their first product in Calabar. That was Microsoft. And I was just a kid from one small ghetto community. So we didn't have all the computers we have now. We didn't have all the we didn't have all the laptops, smartphones, and the internet. So when he called me and he told me that this is what he feels I should register and learn, I don't think I'm interested, because I was up there. But something just told me that I should go and get interested in registering for it was called help desk programming and help desk operations, because Microsoft was trying to introduce help desk solutions or help desk opportunities to young people in secondary schools and colleges, universities. So they started from secondary school, and my school was the very first school they built a Microsoft facility in Calabar at the time. So when I followed his advice, I enrolled for that program, and I was really amazed at the incredible things that I was able to achieve and learn just by sitting in front of the computer. It was from there I learned websites like Wikipedia was existing. My assignments became far easier. And then because we didn't have a lot of internet, we had this thing called Microsoft Encarta. How many of you have heard of it? Microsoft Encarta. It was basically software pre-installed into almost all computers. If you go online, you can actually type in whatever you want. It was like a Google search engine, but built inside Microsoft. And then I learned how to type. My typing speed at the time improved from 30 per words to 60 per words over a period of time, because I was still young, and new games, computer games were coming up. And the more you type the speed, the more you type in speed, the more you kind of like, shoot your enemies and things like that. So it helped to improve my speed. you know, all the zombie games I played, and we were also part of the first group of persons that were introduced to night browsing at the time in Calabar. This was years back. Did not really, my dad did not really encourage me to go night browsing because I mean he had all the rights to be afraid. I was his only son. I'm still his only son, and allowing me to go, allowing me to go out at night and spend the entire night in front of a computer was something that his generation was like, nah, this is too. It's like allowing my son to go sit in front of a television for the entire night. Come on, it didn't make so much sense to him. So what I did was that I had to go and talk to one of my classmates who was working in an oil company in Port Harcourt. He recently came to write his WAEC, and this was really interesting because sometimes back then if you wanted to get some kind of promotion, they would want to have your papers. Somehow he got the connection to work in an oil company, but he couldn't maintain or be promoted because he didn't have his NAPTEP. It was a technical school. He didn't have his NAPTEP and YX, so he had to come all the way to Calabar to enroll with us. So he had this experience and we became friends. And I told him, you know what? You have a very fat face, you have beards, so my father will listen to you more than you listen to me. Come and tell him about this night browsing thing and let him know that it's safe for me to experience the internet and everything. So he came to my house. I remember clearly. He spoke to my dad, and my dad was still hesitant. But then we got details of where the cyber cafe was located, and then he actually drove us there and saw the place and met the manager. And that is the very first time I used the internet. Okay, and ever since then, when I got to the university and from Abeokuta, went to Abuja and a couple of other places for postgraduate, I discovered that I was making a whole lot of money by helping my classmates to either type their assignments, help them with their Microsoft installation issues, help them with a lot of things about the computer. So as much as I didn't call home all the time asking for money. I was also using the knowledge I had gotten from secondary school to build myself. And I got really interested. My very first certificate in Microsoft came from secondary school, and it was much later. I wrote very serious professional exams in Power BI. I became a Microsoft associate, and then I got certified to be a Microsoft certified trainer, aside my other job with the company, working as a data analyst. So I am sharing this story because I don't know what your own story is like and what life um, sitting in front of the computer or performing certain tasks in front of the computer and what that life has been like for you. Has it made your work easier or has it made your work much more difficult? And I see that we have one of us who is a lecturer in the university. We would love to start from her because this is an interactive section. There are people I want to tell you guys now. If you go to communities, I posted something of recent on Facebook. There is going to be a food crisis in Nigeria come 2023, but that same 2023, we're going to have elections. And we are looking at leadership. We are actually joking with it because somehow we feel that there is no connection between good leadership and good livelihood and people living better. So it is very important that when we come to a platform like this to share our experiences, we remember that there are millions of people that don't have the type of access you have, whether it is computer, whether it is Microsoft Excel, whether it is even having access to internet. So let us open our minds and share as much as we can how the training we have gotten in past few months, past few weeks have been able to at least help us to make our life, our work better and so on. So this is the longest I'm going to be speaking and I'll stop here so that the rest of you will continue talking. So Dr. Kenneth, thank you so much for coming. I can see your nose and your lips. I can't see your forehead. And Emmanuel, it's good to see you, the two Emmanuel and Ijoma and the rest. So we are going to call in the first person here, which is Dr. Kenna. Dr. Kenna, are you here?
Yes, I'm here. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening. How are you doing?
I'm good, and you?
All right, I'm fine. Thank you so much. And thanks so much for agreeing to come on board this event. So let me read her bio. Um, she's Dr. Keden Nwankwo. She's a lecturer. Sorry, are you a she? Like, can we use a she
Yes.
for? Okay. No, don't mind me. This Oyibo does for me. They would always want me. They always want us to confirm if everyone is he or she or yeah. All right, so let's continue. Yeah, she's a lecturer in the Department of Business Administration and Management in an institution in Anambra State, Nigeria. She recently is transitioning into tech and decided to go into tech because of her responsibilities as a lecturer, which is required of her to enter and manage data in form of students, exam scores, and so on. She works as a data manager and exam officer in her department, and Excel have helped her a lot in doing so. And she works effortlessly using Microsoft Excel for data processing. And she decided to venture into this class, into our community to help expand her knowledge and skill, and find us in case you want to find herself in another environment. She looks forward to working with a bigger tech company in the nearest future, where she can confidently use the skills she has acquired during the training, and she's open to all kinds of opportunities, jobs, consultations, and so on. So that's a brief bio. And Dr. Kenne, you are so much welcome. How has it
Thank
been
you.
like? How has it been like being a lecturer and attending class?
It's been awesome. It's been awesome. My mom was a primary school teacher, and I wanted to go higher. So
Oh,
I
awesome.
say, yeah,
Yeah,
it's been awesome. Thank you.
my very favorite people in the US and in the UK are actually professors. They have been really helpful, and they have been really open to sharing knowledge. And I want to ask, why did you choose to go into tech in a sense, or better still, why did you choose to learn when you should just be in your office and be eating big money?
Okay, thank you very much for that question. Growing up, maybe let me say when I was still in after secondary school, the only thing I could do was just Microsoft Word. And it wasn't as
Mhm.
if I was so good in it. It was just, back and forth, trial and error, and the rest of them. And it grew from there. In fact, when I actually got into tech mainly or computer, it was when I was doing my MSc.
Okay.
Then we could just write chapter 1 to 3, and then you look for somebody to analyze chapter 4 for you, and then you do the number 5, chapter 5. And that was
Mm.
how we were able to juggle this, you know. But at some point, I read business administration. I know so much about entrepreneurship, human resource, all those things. But most times you find that deep down inside of you, you're not
Mm.
fulfilled. You're not kind of fulfilled. It's not that I'm not enjoying my lecturing job, but I wanted more. I needed more. I felt there was something missing, kind of. And then when I was given a position in the department, I found that it was very difficult for me to be using Microsoft Word to
Yeah.
analyze
Oh
test
yeah.
results. And when I input scores and the rest of them, I find myself using my phone, to be calculator to be punching this plus this and this plus this, and it wasn't really fun. So at some point I told myself I can't do this. So I had to, reach out to somebody in the computer science in my school. And each time I
Mhm.
want to do it, he just come and create the platform, put the sum and the rest of them, and I'll just do. At some point, I told myself, how long am I going to be doing this? So I said, okay, let me see if I can learn. Because most times when I hear Microsoft Excel, I'll just run away. I felt something very difficult, to handle
Mm.
until I delved into it. It was quite interesting. Then aside my job as a lecturer and using Microsoft Excel, I have I have future goals. I have something that I'm planning towards. And
Mm,
because of the changes in the world, we need to adapt to that change. So I felt that if I'm to go forward in my future plan, I need to delve into tech. So that was why
mm,
I had to go into this. And initially, when I joined the class, in fact, most times when I go and come back, I get so tired. When I'm in the class, most times I sleep off, and then when I listen to the recorded messages, it doesn't really add up. At some point, I got angry. I stopped watching, you
mm.
know. So it was when I now wrote something on the page. One Ifechukwu now helped me send some recorded messages that she saved on her drive. And I took her time and started going through them, started going through all of them. And in fact, I'm falling in love with since today. I didn't go anywhere. I've been doing Tableau, going through Power BI, trying to compare the relationship between the two and the rest of them, and it's fun. It's fun.
Yeah.
Let me just stop there. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to come back. I'm going to come back to you. But today we have, I think we have two guests today. Emmanuel Nwachukwu.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, so let me quickly read out Emmanuel's profile because I want to be asking both of you questions concurrently.
Okay.
All right, so give me a minute. Who is Emmanuel? This fine bobo.
Ah,
So yeah, Emmanuel Nwachukwu typifies industry, a passion and innovation, leveraging a solid accounting background and skills acquired in SQL Server, Advanced Excel, Tableau, and Power BI. He helped in developing robust accounting and financial reporting templates in previous and present roles as accounting officer across uh, as accounting officer across a broad range of sectors, including finance, health, and power and ICT, leading to loss minimization and enhanced profitability. He loves community development and has been working with young people for more than 10 years. He started out teaching children in secondary schools in Kogi State, Nigeria during his national service program. Emmanuel has experience in strategic leadership and management, marketing and sales strategy, public speaking, and creative writing. Oga Emmanuel, welcome. And
thank you, Mr. David.
it's when I read your profile now, and then when you say you started your career by teaching, reminds me of how I also started mine. Even though that was after my second degree, I was I used to say volunteering, but they did pay me some stipends when I was teaching in a rural community in Nasarawa State. And I could see from your experience that you are actually someone who loves to share knowledge. I've been following some of
Yeah,
your posts online as well, and your uh, ready make for sharing really intrigues me, and I'm really curious to like the rest of you here. I'm also curious to find out why you felt that accounting it was necessary for you to add some tech knowledge to your accounting, because I can tell you there are people who have done accounting. The next thing is they just want to go do your what they call it, chartered, blah 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 blah, and then that's it. So why did you think it was necessary for you to have a blend of what you're doing and then tech?
all right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are joining us from. Just like Mr. David just read out my profile, I'm excited to join in this evening to share my knowledge with you guys. I hope we'll have a wonderful time together. So, back to the question. I studied accounting as a first degree at Caritas University, and then I graduated 2013, and then I started my masters as well at University of Nigeria. I studied again accounting, And then I started working. I first, I started my with secondary school. I was teaching them accounting in Kogi State, and I loved accounting. In fact, I still love accounting. But you find out that in accounting, basically what I do is to keep records. You know, is to keep records, is to help, businesses, is to help all the firms I've worked with keep their books. And I found out there are these tech guys who, especially data analysts, who comes to analyze our information, the books we have kept. And you find out that they are actually earning more. And what baffled me was that we are the ones who
Doing
keeps the book. The cashier, for instance, the cashier, for instance, will record the sales, will record the day-to-day sales, the revenue of financial accountants. Will also analyze, will also keep the different, probably if they have different departments or different sections, they will analyze and bring them together. And then we will not carry it. And then at the end of the day, you carry it and give to this man, to this guy, who is now, a data analyst. And, and the company sees him as offering more value.
Mm.
So I now found out that data analytics is all about offering business value. You know, I decided, in fact, I started looking into what he was actually doing. And then when I found out that it's something I could actually do, and I started looking out for, the firm where I can learn data analytics. That was sometime in August this year. That was actually what propelled me, what pushed me into trying to add data analytics into my accounting background. Thank you.
Ah, perfect, perfect. And now, and this is what I do tell most of our students and those who clients and those who enroll for our program is that I used to tell people, if you come to my apartment and ask me what do I do for a living, be ready to have a list of what I do for a living. Like I won't come and tell you, okay, for instance, I'm a data analyst. That's it. No, I
as
won't
well.
tell you that. Except, and this thing started when I went out with a young guy in Washington D.C. This guy is barely 25 or 26, and he's actually working in one of the highest offices in the United States, the office of the senator. And he knows a lot about Africa, more than I do, and more than the colleague who was working with him. The guy is from South Africa. He knows so much about South Africa, more than that guy. And this guy is a counselor in his ward in South Africa. And then when he asked me, what do you do? I mean, what do you do back home in Nigeria, and what are you doing now in the US? Then I told him, man, this one that you're asking this question, I don't know the things I'm going to share with you that is going to trick you. So know what? I want just be ready to hear an introduction. I had to tell him every bloody thing I have done in my life, both past and present, because I didn't know where the next opportunity was going to come from.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that is one lesson I learned from a friend as well. He told me, David, I know you do so much, you do a lot of things. Don't be afraid to tell people the many things you do. And yeah,
That,
because sometimes as an accountant or as a lecturer, we may be tempted to, we just want to tell people, you know what, I'm a lecturer and that's it. We want to tell people I'm accountant and that's it. Except you are in a community of accountants or a community of
Yeah.
lecturers, then you can tell them about just that fair. But if you meet
Yeah.
people outside, even if you go for an interview, people they want to know, they are like, tell me about yourself. Give them a key summary of what you do. And then when you give them those key summaries, you now build a narrow point where you can now concentrate on what you can do for their company. so that it is
Exactly.
going to be very difficult for them to say no to you. If they
Exactly.
say no, if they say no to you because you are not a good fit for their company, they can say yes to you. They can say, you know what, we don't have an opportunity for an accountant, but we know that we have an opportunity for a data analyst. Would you want to
Yeah.
take that? We don't have an opportunity now for a data analyst, but we see in your CV and from what you were telling us that we have an opportunity for accountant. Or a friend was speaking to me the other time and they did an accountant. So that is why this introduction is very, very important. And I tell my students, whatever it is that is going to make you to be at the top, to be the 0.1%, make sure you get there so that you
Yeah.
can compete with the right set of people. I
Exactly.
have
Yeah.
I have been in Lagos. I've been in Lagos and I ran away from Lagos, not because not because I didn't make money, but because I was just so tired of the commute. It was too toxic for me. It wasn't good for my mental health. So I ran away to Abuja. And from there, things started changing and I moved all around. And one thing I did tell people was that back then in Lagos, it was very easy for you to make a lot of money, and it was very easy for you to say that you are good at, even if it's a small thing that you are good at, you would see people who would be looking for that skill. It is important for people just like you are here, and this is going to make me ask the second question. It's important for people to be generalists. Generalists are those who know a little bit of everything. Specialists are those who know a little bit of nothing, but so much of a little. I don't know if you get the point.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because there are many times in the past, I've gotten jobs, not because of the questions they asked me, but because I just spoke about dogs, I spoke about cats, I spoke about just random things, cars and family and things like that. And people are like, you know what, you have a good grasp. Maybe they are looking for someone to manage their data and they were looking for someone who can present data. And I'm saying this because that is how I got the job. That my only job in that company was actually to teach their staff how to use Microsoft Excel to collate their data for monitoring and evaluation. And so when I went for interview, they didn't ask me if I know anything about Microsoft Excel per se. It was just snippets of questions, but I needed to know a lot more about the company. I needed to know that they needed to be sure that I was very good with PowerPoint presentations, and they needed to be sure that I was good in speaking. I was good in passing a message. They needed to be sure that if I am teaching people, people understand. And when once I was able to convince them that this thing is second nature to me, I was good to go. And this was even long before I ventured into tech full time. I was already good with using Microsoft Excel. So the question I'm going to ask Dr. Kene, we are going to go back to Dr. Kene now, is in all the courses that you've learned or you were learning with us, which of them stood out? And which of the topics would you say that you see yourself growing from those topics?
Okay, from all the topics, I think I like Tableau and Power BI.
Okay.
The I don't think I really understood it. I'm still struggling to understand SQL, you know,
Okay.
for Tableau and Power BI. In fact, that's what I've been doing since today. I'll do this, I'll check, trying to find the difference between the two of them, and it's fun kind of. So I think I want to grow in that aspect, the two of them. Just the two of them, yeah.
Okay. That's nice. That's nice. Power BI, it's a sweetheart as well. because apart from the dragging and dropping, it gives us the opportunity to create DAX formulas and create amazing chart, import all kinds of chart. Let's listen to, thank you so much. Let's listen to Emmanuel about what's your favorite topic so far or course, and how have you leveraged on it really? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I think my network went up, but it's fine now. So my favorite is actually Microsoft Excel. You know, it was when I joined the health tech that I noticed you could do so much more with Microsoft Excel. My God, I was actually thinking Microsoft was just a like any other kind of tool, that you could use to, maybe record expenses, do your normal bookkeeping. But I never knew you could even use Microsoft Excel
Mm.
for visualization.
Yeah.
In fact, I was literally blown away because I have actually visualized. I've actually, in fact, you don't even need to use a Tableau. You don't even need to use Power BI. You can actually visualize data. I mean, you can do so much. There's so much you can do with Microsoft Excel. So I am really blown out with what I have learned so far. Just exploring the world of Microsoft Excel. I'm really, really thrilled by what you can do. I mean, you can actually, analyze, especially when you're using Microsoft 365. You can, analyze it, can analyze data for you, tell you, give you so much insight. And that's what we're talking about in data analytics, giving value, offering value to businesses. So with the Microsoft 365, you can actually see so much insight. It can actually tell you, is this what you are looking for? In fact, it can give you access to ask questions. Maybe,
Mm.
for instance, which department is making less sales? Which one can you close? So Microsoft Excel is a wonderful tool. I mean, for me, it stood out for me. So I'm really grateful. Really, really.
Yeah, I thanks so much. I love Microsoft Excel, and we just added a new course or a new topic for advanced Excel, which is VBA and macros. And I think you
Yeah.
guys would love it, because when there is know how you work for companies like maybe Tesla, Facebook, and some of the e-commerce companies, and even accounting too, accounting companies or software companies, that you will not see the need to actually use VBA and macros. And I don't know. Let me just
You said BVA?
uh, VBA. Let me open my Excel and show you guys.
Okay.
Okay.
And yeah, we just added that to our course because we remember when we started this whole thing during the introduction to Excel class. I used to tell people to invest their time in learning Microsoft Excel. Invest your time in learning it, because no matter what business you are going to be working for or with, you definitely need to understand how Excel sheets works. You
Yeah.
definitely need to understand how Excel sheet works. Okay. So okay, let me share my screen. Give me a minute.
Yeah.
I'm actually also doing this because I want those who are listening to this, who are on the call, to, after this call, maybe just go and do their personal research about Microsoft VBA, Visual Basic Application, or can you guys see my screen on macros?
Yeah.
All right. So we see that we have sheet 1, we have sheet 2, and sheet 3. And these sheets, all of them have actually different, these sheets, all of them have different charts. They have different values as well. So let me change some of these values. See. I just want to show you guys how this works briefly. Sorry, this is not a class.
It's actually a class now. We came to learn.
So yeah, so okay, yeah, we have sheet number 1. If you can see, we have position and salary, and then we have sheet number 2, position and company average, and then we have sheet number 3, position and company average again. Now, what you do, assuming that you want to calculate for the sum of all of these, right? And then you want to go to sheet 2 and calculate for the sum of all of these. Imagine you have thousands of rows and you want to perform the same action on all of the sheets. And assuming you have up to 10 sheets, using Microsoft macros makes it easier for you to actually, when you are done doing all your calculations or doing all your work on this particular workbook or worksheet, all you need to do is record your macro by going to your developer tab. Can you see that? This is a developer tab that is, you have to install this or you have to include it on your Microsoft Excel. And then you go to your record macro. When you go to your record macro, every single code that you are going to be performing is going to get recorded. When you are done, you simply click on OK. All right. When you're done, you simply stop the recording and then go to your macros. For instance, this is the macro code I created for this particular sheet. So let me say I click on run. Can you see?
Yeah.
Did you guys know that there's something like this existing on Microsoft Excel?
No.
Not at all.
So this,
Yes.
yeah, this is a code that if you know SQL Server and Python and something like that, programming language, Excel also have its own programming language, and we just introduced that to our course. And this is the Visual Basic Editor, where when you put all these codes, you just simply run the code, and then go back to your chart, and then you'd see that the code would run in itself. Let me see. Anyway, like I said, this is not a class, so I just felt I should show you guys that particular aspect of Microsoft Excel. We are going to be sharing the recording we've made in the very first private sections we've had since we introduced the course. And we have 2 more questions because I wouldn't want to keep you guys waiting. The other question I want to ask is, and this goes to Dr. Kenneth. Have you ever had the experience of working with a data analyst before? Do you think it is even possible to have a job as a data analyst remotely? And do you think that coming from your background and coming from the background of people in the academic, do you think that it's ever possible for students to know that it is possible to work from their homes or to work without going to the office and to make money from it?
Okay. Your number one question. No, I've not worked with any data analysts, but I'm
Okay.
looking forward to doing that. Like, that's
All right.
why I am in the class, so that if I'm comfortable enough, I can start applying for remote jobs, at
Mhm.
the main site. So yes, I'm looking forward to that. But for now, I've not worked with any data analyst, but I'm looking forward to doing that. And I'm trying
All right.
to so that anywhere I find myself, I'll be able to do that. So
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for sharing. But do you think it is possible for people to get jobs remotely?
sure, why not? Sure.
All
I have
right.
a friend doing that already. Yeah. And she introduced me to a Telegram group where I can actually do that. But for want of time, I've not really been able to apply for any. My
We
hands
know
kind of
now. Lecturer, they mark papers.
my hands are kind of full right now because I'm doing a dual job. I have an administrative job in the school as well. So I'm trying to balance the two. And then, with home and so many things, so but
All
then
right.
we'll get yeah.
Thanks so much. So, Emmanuel,
Yes,
have you worked with any data analysts before, and how have that experience been like? I know you gave us a snippet or a brief of that. How that experience was that? Do you think it's even possible to work remotely, or do you have
yeah,
people who have worked remotely as data analysts or those who are into tech as well?
yeah. I have actually worked with a data analyst, like I said, and
Mm.
it's actually a beautiful experience for me, actually, because you just get to analyze what the accounting department gives to you. And working remotely is something that has come to stay. In fact, I personally feel that the future of accounting is data because data analytics might eventually take up the work of accountants if care is not taken. So I have actually even started working, I positioned myself actually on LinkedIn and all the other, remote sites, job sites, and I've also actually, in fact, I've gotten one already, so I've actually secured one. So it's something that has come to stay, and it's not something that I've seen people actually working remotely, not moving from their house every day with electricity, with their laptops. They work and they earn a decent, even much more decent. They earn in dollars, even while in Nigeria you know.
Mm.
And if care is not taken, people keep running up and down, going to this, doing that, especially when you live in Lagos, like Mr. David. If you live in Lagos, the traffic, the everything there, the stress. So, but people who, I've seen people who work remotely in Lagos, they don't have such stress. They don't have such stress. They only go out, to recreate, to ease themselves. So it is a future of jobs. Working remotely is the future of jobs right now. So I encourage young people, I encourage young people to, take up this skill or any other skill they can lay hands on. Dahel Tech is a place where you can, enroll and get some of these skills that can help you, improve. If you are a medical doctor, it helps you. How many people have you treated? How many people are going to come? It helps you to even, for give you a foresight of what is going to happen even in the future. So it's something that everybody can
King.
learn and practice. It's not something like you say medicine is just for a particular set of those. But this one, anybody who pays attention can learn it and then use it, and it will, work out well for the person. So I feel and I know strongly that it's something everybody can take up.
Okay, okay. I'll thank so much, Emmanuel. I'm going to be asking you guys one last question, and we should cut across networking because some persons. I would love to find out your personal experiences about networking. Do you think that it is okay for people to just learn skills on their own and somehow just remain in their house. They don't want to belong to any community. They don't ask questions. They don't share their knowledge. And they just feel that companies would come with a bag of rice and keep in front of their house and say, oh, yeah, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, oh, yeah, Oga. It's like you are very good. Come and work with us. You know, to be honest, a lot of young people don't really get to network these days. They just come when you see them online pressing phones, they are watching comedy, TikTok videos, and things that don't really improve their livelihood. I mean, some of you would have younger brothers or sisters or cousins or siblings, and it's important we talk about from your personal experiences. Yeah, this is what I really want to know because if I want to share mine, people will say, "Oh, because I don't do," you get, all those placements of people. So let's get to hear about what it has been with you. Do you think that it is something people should look out for? Because there are people who have a lot of skills, but they don't even know how to market those skills. They can't even talk about how good they are, and they just feel that they should get employed. And I'm pretty sure if you are Dr. Kenneth, if you are teaching or you are in a student who is defending the project, it is okay to be very intelligent in your class, but if you can't really defend your project, you are going to have a D or a C, not even an A, because you have to tell us that you actually wrote this project by yourself, or you have to tell us at least, even if you are not the person that wrote the project, but you have a fair knowledge of what the project is all about. Okay, and that's what I want you guys to talk about. And but then I'm also interested in finding out from you, why did you choose the health techies and not any other place? And so far, have you gotten value for your obligations or for your money in that sense? I don't want to use money. What should I use? have you gotten have you gotten value for your time? Yeah, really, because you spending time watching videos and attending classes, that should count for something really. And with that, we'll see if there are questions from anyone in the group.
Okay. Let me start. Okay. You mentioned networking.
Yeah.
It's really really good to network. Recently I didn't. I was always on Twitter. For most times I don't really understand what they do there. Especially people that have Japad, and they make you feel less a person as if you don't know what you're doing. Join my YouTube. But I don't came across somebody who said LinkedIn. I was like, LinkedIn. I said, okay, let me open an account. So I did. And first of all, when I opened my LinkedIn account, I wasn't too sure of how to handle it. I had to
Mm,
reach out to people, and somebody helped me design that's everything and set up, taught me how to put up my about and everything, my work experiences and the rest of them. And since I
mm,
joined this class, anywhere I see anybody's profile written data, I'll connect with you immediately. I
mm,
want to learn more because it's exciting, and I keep telling my students, I said, it's not just what you are learning in class. You really need to upskill. Even my children, I keep telling them, it's not just go and learn chemistry, physics, and come out. There's more to life than just chemistry, physics, mathematics. You know, I
exactly.
I've done I've gone to up to doctorate degree, but I still feel that there's a vacuum. I still feel that there is something lacking. I still feel that I need to get somewhere. I tried reaching out to somebody because there was a professor in Ghana who is into tech. I tried to reach out to him. I've even attended one of their conferences on iSIMS, and I tried to reach out to him. See, I want to be a data analyst. I want to learn. He connected me to one man, a professor too. When the professor asked me one or two questions, do you know this? Do you know SQL? Do you know? I said no. He said I'll get back to you. Till today, he never got back to me. I now started up the process again. I said, the person you preferred me to, he said he'd get back to me. Up to today, he didn't get back to me. The man up to today did not respond. I was like, does it mean if you don't have basics for tech or computer or whatever, somebody can't, until I think it was on Facebook that I saw your ad. I said, okay, let me key in. At first I wasn't really flowing. I even wrote that I didn't get value for my money. I was so angry. But now the reverse is the case.
Okay, now you be that person wey cause wahala initially. I don't catch you.
So I'm withdrawing whatever I said. In fact, you're too good. Your class was it's what my time is, what my data is, what my money, it's what everything. And for now, I really want to, get to, you're just doing maybe the practical aspect, theoretical. I really need to get deep and be sure that if somebody gives me data to analyze or something, like I can actually do that, not just what I've learned, practicalize what I have learned so that I can now start applying for remote jobs and the rest of them. So to me, I know I have gotten value for my money, value for my time. And I've been encouraging young people to, in anytime I'm in class, I try to use the opportunity to tell them, try and learn one thing or the other, try to upskill, life, changes. Change is the only thing that is constant. So you really need to change, move with the trend, So thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. And in a spirit of networking, and I hope you know, Dr. Ikene, that as a company, apart from skill acquisition, we also do sponsor a couple of community development projects. And when I tell people that whatever money we are making as a company, I tell my colleagues and staff that we must train ourselves to give back. Let me give you an example. Uh, there are some courses that the money students pay cannot even afford a trainer, a single trainer. So what do? I have to. All the trainers in the company, they have a contract. We have people who are earning 50,000. We have people who are earning 100,000 and above. We have people who are earning 150. And you guys, you already know the list of trainers you have. And whether we have 20 students or not, we must pay these trainers this money. And one of the when we started teaching Python, I think we had only one student. The money the students paid to enroll for the Python class was was not even up to the money we paid the trainer. But we had to. I remember for every trainer we pay, we have to also pay the virtual assistants and the social media people. So if you bring all the this is I just have to be open. I'm very open about money. I talk about this all the time. If you want to bring in the money students pump into the company compared to the money that goes out to the trainers who are qualified to teach, because if you don't pay the trainers well, you will have a quality training. So to maintain the quality, we make sure that we pay our trainers well to connect them with so many students who cannot even afford them in the first place. So I'm saying this because I want you to appreciate the work, to appreciate more the work we are doing, and as well as open opportunities to your own students. If there are ways you want to reach out to me and you'll be like, you know what, I want to organize a training for students in my department on Microsoft Excel, we can have that chat and we are going to sponsor that training as much as we can
Wow.
on absolutely no cost to you, so that the
Thank
students have access to so that the students have access. This is what I am really passionate about, and I share this with some of our people. All they need do is, if there's we have people in now we have you in Anambra, all we need do is pass through you to work with the students so that they can, after class, introduce them no matter what course they are taking. It doesn't matter. I mean, I just shared how Microsoft changed my life in secondary school, and I had to do certain things on my own, and it was even making money while in the university. So think about this, and if it's something you see yourself doing, maybe the year is almost coming to a close, we could start working on planning about it so that we can look forward to working with you. It may not be all the departments, it could just be a single department or a single section of students they could enroll. And you know that most of your colleagues are very good in teaching Excel. We can sponsor their data, sponsor their transport for those of them that are in Anambra, and we make sure that we, make that event a success. And it also builds your own it builds your own presence in the school in a way, builds your CV in a sense, and makes you that you didn't just learn this, you're also open enough to share with your students. They will value you so much, I'm telling you, because after their graduation, they will remember that there is a lecturer who introduced them to something that was outside their course, and she was also good at that thing. I mean, I studied philosophy at second degree. I am hoping to improve. I have tons of journal articles and research. I have books on Amazon. But I don't get to talk about them only when I'm in the midst of professors, and that is when people know that I studied philosophy. But I tell people I'm a community person. I'm a data analyst. I work in the mental health space, and these are the things I'm passionate about. These are the things I talk about all the time. Philosophy helped me to build my research skills, to think smartly, and to understand how logic flows in a sense. It helps to improve the nature of what I'm doing and the nature of my relationship with people. So you can do that, and let's see. I'm pretty sure they'll be really appreciative of you in the future.
I'm sure of that. I'm sure of that. I will. I will. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. Thank you.
All right. You're welcome. So, Emmanuel, over to you. You know the question already. Emmanuel, you're muted.
Hello. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, yeah. I didn't get that. Sorry.
Yeah, you got the question about networking and the whole thing about why you choose the Techies.
Okay. Oh, beautiful. Most of the jobs I've gotten is I got them through networking. In fact, all the jobs. I am such a person who loves to attend conferences, attend events, tech events, social media events, hang out. And when I do, I reach out to the speakers, the and all the attendees whom I feel I should network with, and then I exchange numbers with them. In fact, I work with a distribution company in Nigeria. Uh, that's the major work I
Mm,
do. And how did I get that? It was somewhere to where I was working. A client came in, and then I took up his number, and that was it. And then this recent one too, I got remotely, was someone too I also met. I told him I do this, I do that, and he said, okay, you could do this. All right, then. So there is a place for networking. It's very important. Holding your hands, especially for people who can write, copywriting skills or content writing, anyone, content writing, through your social media space, you can leverage that. Most people know you as someone who can share their knowledge, your knowledge. It doesn't matter what aspect. It could be storytelling. You could share your story of how your day
mm,
went. You could share story of how the food you ate. You could share story of how you dealt with your stubborn children. And then leverage on that. And when people start paying attention to you, you can now sell your market. You can now tell them you do this. So, oh, I am a data analyst, I'm an accountant, I'm this. When the people love people who impact knowledge. Human
Exactly.
beings love people who share their stories, who share their knowledge. Once you are seen as someone who shares your knowledge, people will troop into your space, people will troop into your page, and what they are paying for is attention. When attention comes to you, you will make money from it. You make money from influence. Look at the likes of Don Jazzy, who started working with young people, and you see he's always every day young. He will not go into extinction, and he will never, provided you learn how to network, talk to people physically. It doesn't matter if they look poor. It doesn't matter if they appear, not savvy. So, but once you have made it a habit of, attending social media events, attending events, both online and offline, you will definitely meet people who will change your life. It was on Facebook. I was actually looking out for the companies or academies where I could learn data analytics. And then I stumbled over a post made by Dahel sometime in August or so. I remember she mentioned Dahel Techies, the Dahel consultant Techies. I now said, okay, well, then I looked at it. It was the most affordable. It is the most affordable I have seen. I saw others too, others who paid higher. So, but when I saw this, and then I went to their page, I saw testimonies, I was so interested. So that was what made me. So this social media is a tool that anybody who wants to succeed, you can use it to succeed in life. It was on social media I saw the health techies, and then I joined. So, some people asked me, are you sure it's not scam? This social media stuff. Don't you think they will take your money and run away? I said, social media, take your money and run away. Run away to where? So this is something that people should explore. People should not pay attention to LinkedIn and any other social media of their choice. In fact, when we joined, Mr. David told us, if you have not optimized or if you are not on LinkedIn, join LinkedIn. If your accounts are not clean, please start cleaning up. Start, packaging yourself. And immediately I went. In fact, I think I had a LinkedIn account then when I joined, but I had less than. In fact, I don't even know if I had followers or less than 50 followers. But as of today, I'm talking to you, I have over 700 followers, and people engage on my post, and so I started sharing value both on LinkedIn, and people can now like my post and comment, and then so you see some of these things is something I don't take for granted. In fact, I attended an event, a social event last weekend where P2B attended. I made sure I exchanged contacts with some of the uh, um, people who spoke, some of them who came from the US. I exchanged contacts with them. I told them I can do this, I can do this. They said, wow, that's so interesting. Some of them gave me their cards. We could work with you. We could, let's see how we can help. Let's see how we can comment. And this is how people grow. And I'm certain that some of these relationships will be worthwhile in the next foreseeable future, in a few months or years to come. So I'm this kind of person who believes in networking. So I believe that one day I will also miss Mr. David.
Yeah.
Thank
Soon.
you.
Yeah, and thanks so much for sharing. I appreciate it, guys. The thing about me is you may not be so surprised to see that you definitely get to see me. It's not rocket science. I don't I make myself, yeah, and that's true. I make myself approachable to people who understand what value is. Please let me repeat that. I make myself approachable to people who understand what value is. If someone sends me a message on LinkedIn or Instagram or Facebook and they're like, sir, how far now? How far? We are chatting for the first time and you want to begin a relationship with chit chatting and just superficial greetings when you know that I translate every attention to be either money or value. I won't take you serious, right? It just in normal relationships. If someone comes across and meets a beautiful doctor, okay, now we're like, hey, fine babe, how far now? The way Dr. Kenneth will look at you, in fact, you just open your you just open the ground and enter inside, right? But if you approach her and you be like, oh, I was at the interview you had with the Techies, you made brilliant points. You are trying to share value you got, as well as communicate the value you intend to share with her or the value you have. That I have met people like, eh, people from low income backgrounds, middle class, and people from high class, with both in Nigeria and the United States, in other like more than 22 African countries. And you would see that the, this thing I'm saying is just basically the same. When once people sense that you have value that they don't see just around them or just anywhere,
I want
they want to grab you.
that's
They
true.
will want to they
Exactly.
will want to grab you. And when they grab you, they want to use you to reach other people. And so it will, because they feel that since you are a person of value, and that is what happened to me in DC. I mean, they felt I have, and I know for real that I do have a list of young people who are working with me in Nigeria here, and people who are working with me outside the country. And because they cannot have access to this huge number of young people, they had to empower me in a sense to say, you know what, we know you, right? When you go to these communities, go and tell them that these resources are available. And each time they need these resources, reach back to us. Let us share these resources with you. That is how I was able to get resources to share with people working in the special needs or disability community in Nigeria, people who intend to be child psychologists.
Network.
I think he's
Net-
having a network glitch.
Network issues.
Oh yeah, no.
Emmanuel, what's your name on LinkedIn? I can connect with you.
My name on LinkedIn is Machuku Emmanuel. Machuku
Okay.
Emmanuel. I think maybe I can just drop it on the chat.
Okay.
Okay, chat box is not available right now. The chat box is not available right now. Okay, so before Mr. David comes in, you know, so we won't keep our people watching us waiting. Data analytics is about business value, offering value to our clients, offering value to businesses, offering value to organizations is beyond the dashboard, is beyond the skill, is beyond beautiful, beautiful dashboards. You just say pie chart, bar chart, and maybe maps and the rest of them. It's beyond that. What happens? What insights can businesses gain from your beautiful dashboard? So these are some of the things we consider when we build dashboards. So beyond the skill, beyond gaining the skill, beyond saying I'm a data analyst or I'm in tech, what value can people gain from those beautiful pie charts or bar charts or any other thing you could use in those visualizations? So beyond the tools, so you are looking beyond those tools to make sure people listening to you, people watching you, or people going to use those tools, people using those dashboards or seeing that the businesses get value and know their businesses, like I said, their businesses are more profitable. They have headway of where they are going and things like that. Thank you, Mr. David. You're back.
Oh yeah, yes, I'm back. Thank you so much. The network kind of threw me out, and
Yeah.
I was trying
Sitting
to
in DC,
Yeah, I was trying to share the fact that um, value is being respected by people no matter
Yeah.
where you are located, right? And I
Exactly.
also
Yes.
shared the opportunities I've had over the past years. I fell in love with remote work when I started earning my very first job. And talking about LinkedIn, this is why I encourage people to get into LinkedIn. I had moved from earning 18,000 to 250 in a couple of a month because I went to LinkedIn. I was just playing with LinkedIn then. I was tired of earning uh, what is it called? Peanuts, right? So I decided to just go to LinkedIn. Then I saw this job that was posted by Daily Post in the UK. I was in Nigeria at the time, in Abuja. I had to apply. And before then, I had invested in skills to learn how to improve in writing. So I was already ready for opportunities in the writing industry at the time. And that was my very first time of actually being allowed into a virtual space. I had a virtual office. I had customized email, daily posts. I was writing emails, and I now started seeing how these things work. So it's actually the case that people can be in another country and employ other people across continents, across countries to actually get to work with them, and they pay. Some of them don't actually pay the equivalent of what they should pay for their own people, but at least when they have your details, they will now say that they are employing international staffers, right? So they will now put their own salary structure. So if someone could be here earning $200,000 or $150 or $100,000 in a year in a particular role in Lagos, for instance, and that same role in California or in Los Angeles or New York, you are going to be earning up to 150. A 100,000 role here, you may be earning up to 200, 150 if you are in the US, and they are willing to pay you 100,000 because they know if they get people from the US, they are going to pay higher than that, right? So that's why, and yeah, that's why remote work is a lot of fun. Okay, there are people who have made so much money, they just say, you know what, I'm tired of Nigeria. They just live with their family. And some countries are like the UK with the global talent visa, Australia, they have the skilled workers visa, Canada is opening their borders to skilled immigrants. All you need to do is write certain exams, maybe English language exams, submit your Microsoft certificate exam certificates if you have training you've gotten from different tech companies, the projects you've built over the past, submit them to their platform, and then show them that you're actually good in doing some of the things, you know. So hopefully by next year, we are going to be introducing new opportunities for internship for our students, not just to work with Dahel Techies, but other companies. There are links we want to introduce to students to begin to explore these other companies. And finally, there are also opportunities we want to share with our students for those who want to improve their network and improve their opportunities to work remotely. So we will introduce another new course, which is going to be a part of a different package, like just like Python, and we're going to have a trainer for that. Come teach our students about Upwork, Indeed, Glasgow, and all these other platforms that, and how really you should start applying for opportunities in these other platforms. So that is what we're looking out for in the year 2023. And it's been such a pleasure to have you guys share how it's been with you. I don't know if you have any final words, or if there is anybody amongst us that have a question, you could just throw such questions to our guest today. But if not, we just have final words so that you can go and eat your fufu.
It's late to eat fufu.
All right. So, any final words? Thank you. Let's start with Emmanuel this time around.
Okay. Bye. Yeah. So my final words, I want to say I'm really grateful to the Dahel consultants and Techies, to the lead instructor, Mr. David. He's someone I know, even though he doesn't have so much time, he still gives attention to, especially those who love value, just like he pointed out.
Yeah.
So, and he gave me that opportunity to be close to him, irrespective of his busy schedule. Even when I drop messages, he tries as much as he can to respond instantly. So, and I'm grateful for the teachers as well, from the Excel instructor to the sequel. In fact, the sequel instructor, Mr. Samuel, is a wonderful soul. He's such a good instructor. So all the teachers, all the instructors are good people. So I encourage anybody who wants to go into tech, knowing fully well that tech is now the new oil, especially if you're living in Nigeria, is the new oil. It's something anybody can explore. Dahel Techies is a place to explore that, with it's a weekend, it's usually a weekend class. So even if you are walking, you don't have any excuse. It's self-paced. They will take you by the hand. So I encourage anyone, especially those among us or those who would get to watch this maybe by way of YouTube or any other place, to explore this company. And it's something to the people watching us. I encourage each and every one of us to take what we are learning seriously and try to network with people. Try to find a way to reach out to others who are making it big time. When you see people who are making it big time, don't just say they are lucky. Don't just say they maybe they know people. No, everybody who you see walking behind the things walking are people making them behind the invitation to this interview. There is something that brought it about it. You don't just see, somebody doesn't just see you and picks interest on you. Yeah, we know there's something called luck, but it is easier to be lucky when you are hardworking. It is easier to be lucky when you are valuable. It is easier to get luck when people can rely on you for value. So I encourage each and every one of us, in any area you want to be valuable, you make sure you should be so valuable that it will be difficult for your generation to ignore you. Look at the likes of Mr. David. His environment and where he is so valuable that people cannot ignore him. They find a way to reach out to him to say, "Yeah, help us reach out to these people because we know you can do that." So this is something I'm talking about. That once people find you valuable, they will always trust you, and that trust comes with also finances and influence. So I encourage each and every one of us to be valuable in our choosing field, and that's my final advice. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate. Thank you,
You're
Dr.
welcome, sir.
Kana.
Okay. My final word. I just want to thank you so much for this class and the rest of your team. My advice to people out there, whatever you've chosen, whichever path you've chosen, don't ever give up. Because I almost gave up. I gave up. I almost gave up along the line because at some point it was as if I wasn't really connecting. But thank you, just like you mentioned, networking. I had to connect with, if I didn't voice out, somebody wouldn't have reached out to me and I wouldn't have gotten to where I am today. And I'm glad to say that I'm happy about it. So don't give up. Whatever path you've chosen, don't ever give up. No matter what comes your way, no matter the obstacles you're facing, don't ever give up until you get to that level that you're looking up to, you know. And then to the rest of other people, continue in that path. We'll continue learning. You can't finish learning. You continue to learn. I mean, it's that you need to learn on a daily basis. If not, you will not be relevant to your society, where you find yourself. So continue learning is a continuous process, and we need to continue learning. And don't look at somebody, oh, who am I supposed to learn from this person? Don't look down on anybody. You can learn from even a child. You can learn from anybody you are even, that is even old, you're older than and all that. And going on from now, I believe I will continue to work with you, just like you've said. I will try to reach out to my students, try to make an impact, in their lives, so that wherever they find themselves tomorrow, they will say, oh, they will always remember me and say, oh, this woman really helped me. And I would like to impact in their lives as well. And I believe that with that, we'll make a change and a difference in the lives of people and the rest of the world. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much. I really appreciate you guys doing this. And let's see. For those listening, those in the audience, is there anyone who want to say any word? Olucho, I can see you. Ifechuku, Ruka, my people. It's time to say hi. Jennifer, Obase, Dominic, Paul, Precious, Smart. Anyone wants to say hi? Because we are done with the interview section today. We will continue on next week on the 8th of December because we have other people who want to share how it's been like with them.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Good evening.
Hi,
Yeah,
Iruka.
yeah, good evening.
I
Evening.
okay. I am happy to be in the midst here. I enjoy everything, and I promise I'll be here by on 8th of December. Emmanuel is my very good friend and a colleague, so I am happy
Okay.
he's doing very well, and I'm happy I've joined the group. Thank you all. I love you all.
I
Thank
love you
you.
too. And Emmanuel loves you more.
Thank you.
Ah,
Okay, thank you.
All right.
hey, this is a can I greet?
Thank you.
Hi.
Is there any other person?
Hi, this is Ifechuku.
All
I
right.
enjoyed this session. I'm really here
My
because of
friend.
Amy. Hey, Mrs. Ekene, I'm seeing your face for the first time.
My friend.
Wow. See them. These are the people I've been dragging. You people should not forget the wait for this data analyst. I'm really, really happy hearing from us. And I pray
Yeah,
that the reason we joined this course will be actualized. We've actually entered
Amen.
this tech thing and we're not going back at all. Going back is not
We are not moving.
accepted.
It's not.
Mm,
thank you,
mm.
Ichukwu.
So
Thank
I
you
enjoyed
so
Yeah,
that.
much.
thank you.
Enjoyed your views. And
Yeah.
you're always welcome, ma'am.
Thanks so much. Thanks so much. All right. I guess we've had all that said by our guests. So thank you so much, Dr. Kenneth. Please let's keep in touch as well. Mr. Emmanuel, thank you so much. We'll also keep in touch as well. It's been such a pleasure, and I hope you have a beautiful weekend.
Thank you
Thank you
very
so.
much.
Thank you.
All right.